All right, there is an insurrection in America. And you know what? President Trump is just the guy to stop it. And that's the subject of the rift. There's an insurrection going on here, and frankly, it's a lot more important, in my view at least, than the government shutdown. You've got blue state governors and mayors deciding to do battle with immigration and customs enforcement, that's ICE, to prevent them from enforcing the law and ridding America of the worst criminal illegals. So like a lot of crazy things, this insurrection started in LA, but it has now spread across the country, hitting Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Memphis, Denver, Newark, New York City. And some of these blue state governors like Gavin Newsom in California or J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, some of them are proud of it, campaigning for president on it. Now, just today, Chicago's mayor, Brandon Johnson, he declared city spaces as ICE-free zones. So you've got established politicians standing alongside far-left outfits like Antifa or Black Lives Matter or the Democratic Socialists of America and others. If Zohran Mamdani wins in New York City, he has pledged to keep ICE out. President Trump had it right today when he said, and I'll quote, "Shielding the most depraved, violent, criminal, illegal aliens from justice is not only an insult to every Chicagoan, it is also a dangerous intensification of Democrats' lunatic sanctuary agenda, where criminal illegals come before American citizens." Now, there's a legal battle going on as to whether President Trump has the authority to move 300 members of the California National Guard to Portland, despite a federal court order prohibiting him from sending members of Oregon's Guard. This is more insanity. More insanity. Once again, lower-level judges are standing in the way of Trump's agenda. In this case, these goofy judges are standing in the way of law and order and public safety. Of course the president can move the National Guard around. You can go all the way back to Alexander Hamilton, who wrote in Federalist 29, "In times of insurrection or invasion, it would be natural and proper that the militia of a neighboring state should be marched into another to resist a common enemy or to guard the republic against the violence or faction or sedition." There you go. Hat tip to Alexander Hamilton, hat tip to the New York Sun. It may be just an aside right now, but as I've written so many times, federal law always supersedes local laws. And that includes sanctuary cities and ICE agents who are doing their jobs. Mr. Trump and AG Pam Bondi are taking steps to protect the ICE agents themselves when they are attacked by throwing these domestic terrorists in jail. But the very big picture here is most of the Democratic Party have put themselves in the position of being anti-police, anti-cop, anti-law and order, while the Republican Party, standing solidly behind Donald Trump and ICE, put themselves right in the corner of being pro-cop and pro-law and order. In the United States, there is no room for insurrection. And that's the riff this evening. All right.